You're my sister, so why are you flirting with me? Ye Zhen, the director of the traditional Chinese medicine TCM department at the Provincial People's Hospital, was a young and promising doctor with exceptional medical skills. He even had a beautiful girlfriend who worked at the Municipal Health Bureau. But as fate would have it, misfortune struck unexpectedly. Zheng, the son of the director of the Municipal Health Bureau, not only stole Ye Zhen's girlfriend but also falsely accused him of having inappropriate relations with a patient. As a result, Ye Zhen was demoted and transferred to Xiong County People's Hospital, where he took on the role of TCM department director. That scumbag Zheng Ye Zhen vowed to deal with him one day. Today was Ye Zhen's first day at his new position as the TCM director. The first patient he received made him feel a mix of surprise and amusement. A young couple walked in, familiar faces. Liu Jie, Chen Yang, you too. Staring at the couple in front of him, Ye Zhen's eyes widened in disbelief. Back in high school, they had been his classmates. Liu Jie was a rich second-generation kid who acted arrogantly, often bullying Ye Zhen. Chen Yang was the campus belle, known for her aloofness and gold-digging tendencies. Ye Zhen had once pursued Chen Yang, even becoming a simp and a backup option for her. Thinking about it now, he realized how naive he had been in his youth. Ye Zhen? How come it's you? Damn, you're the TCM director who parachuted in here? Liu Jie exclaimed in shock. Rumors had spread that a big-shot director with extraordinary medical skills had been assigned to their hospital's TCM department. Because his wife, Chen Yang, had been experiencing severe headaches and insomnia, Liu Jie had specifically brought her to see this reputed doctor. But he never imagined that the famous doctor would turn out to be his old high school classmate and a sworn enemy and love rival, no less. Yang, let's go. We're not seeing this doctor anymore. Without hesitation, Liu Jie grabbed his wife's hand, ready to leave. Ye Zhen had been his mortal enemy back in high school. Letting him treat his wife? It was like swallowing a bitter pill. All right, I guess. Chen Yang hesitated, feeling a bit awkward. After all, it was uncomfortable to face Ye Zhen, the boy who had once chased after her. Asking him to examine her now was, at the very least, embarrassing. Headaches, insomnia, and irritability, am I wrong? Classmate Liu Jie, your wife's condition is quite serious. Without me, no one else can cure her. Ye Zhen's voice stopped the couple in their tracks. He hadn't even conducted an examination, yet he had already identified Chen Yang's symptoms. This guy might really be something. The rumors seemed to be true. Liu Jie turned around, staring at Ye Zhen with suspicion. After gritting his teeth, he asked, "How confident are you?" Chen Yang's expression grew even more awkward. Was her husband seriously about to ask Ye Zhen for treatment? She felt a bit afraid to face him. 100% confidence. Ye Zhen's face was full of cheerfulness, almost like he was playing a game. Back in high school, Liu Jie had beaten him up more times than he could count. But now, karma had come knocking. Liu Jie was taken aback for a moment and then asked, "How will you treat it?" There was no other choice. His wife's irritability was making his life miserable. As long as she could be cured, he was willing to give it a shot. After all, he loved his wife deeply, and the two of them had always been close. Your wife's insomnia is severe, and medication won't work. The only solution is acupuncture. Oh, and one more thing, acupuncture 1T just beyond her head. Her shoulders and back will also need treatment. Ye Zhen kept a straight face, looking every bit the serious doctor. He knew the true reason behind Chen Yang's insomnia, but he wasn't about to say it out loud. What? Acupuncture? Liu Jie exclaimed, his face turning sour. Acupuncture required physical contact, especially if it involved the back. That meant his wife would have to remove her top, and that was something Liu Jie could not accept. Decide if you want treatment or not. It's up to you. But I'll tell you this, there is no other option for her condition. Only acupuncture will work. To us doctors, your wife is just a patient, nothing more, nothing less. Ye Zhen crossed his legs, his gaze calm and indifferent as he glanced at the couple. Of course, he wasn't lying. If he weren't a master of the family's secret technique, the Jade Maiden Divine Needle, there would be no way to cure Chen Yang's condition. Their Jade Maiden Divine Needle was just one of their 9 Jade Maiden techniques. There was also their Carefree Divine Needle and their Wuji Divine Needle, all of which were incredibly powerful. Fine, just think of it as being bitten by a dog. Liu Jie glared at Ye Zhen, helpless and filled with frustration. His wife's constant insomnia had made his life a nightmare. Thinking it over, he realized that Ye Zhen was right, it really wasn't that big of a deal. The only reason he felt uncomfortable was that the person doing the treatment was his former love rival, Ye Zhen. Hubby, are we really doing this? Chen Yang felt even more embarrassed. If it were anyone else, she wouldn't feel this way. But Ye Zhen was someone she had once liked. The thought of letting him perform acupuncture on her left her red-faced with shame. Yes, we are. If you don't get treated, you'll stay awake all night and you're driving me insane. Liu Jie gave her a look of pure exasperation. If a grown man like him could accept it, why was she still hesitating? Fine, okay. Chen Yang lowered her head, pouting like a child. Ye Zhen, let me make something clear first. We're laying down 3 ground rules. First, you must guarantee a successful treatment. If you fail, I'll deal with you personally. Second, you have to follow the ethics of a doctor and not take advantage of the situation. Third, I'll be standing right next to you to watch the whole process, so you'd better not try anything funny. Liu Jie glared at Ye Zhen, his eyes filled with a faint trace of malice. After the treatment was over, he was already planning to have his people teach Ye Zhen a lesson. Acupuncture is risky. Any distractions during treatment could be fatal. If you want to watch, that's fine. But if something happens to your wife because you're hovering around, you'll be the one taking responsibility. Ye Zhen rolled his eyes, looking unimpressed. This fool had managed to claim the cabbage back in high school, but now he was acting like a pig guarding his precious lettuce. Chapter 2, Treatment. Chen Yang was young and beautiful, with a tall, curvy figure, a true beauty. It was hard to understand how she had ended up with Liu Jie. Liu Jie was just an ordinary civil servant working as an urban management officer in Xiong County. However, his family background was quite impressive. His father was the deputy director of the Urban Construction Bureau, and his mother worked in the National Tax Bureau. Liu Jie was so furious that he couldn't even speak. After thinking it over, he had to admit that standing beside his wife during the acupuncture procedure would indeed be disruptive. Biting her lip, Chen Yang said softly, "Honey, acupuncture really requires full concentration. Any interruptions could be risky." Liu Jie's face grew darker. He was utterly furious, but he had no choice but to compromise. Fine. Forget the third condition. I'll wait outside. Yang, if he dares to mess around, call me immediately, he warned his wife, shooting a deadly glare at Ye Zhen before walking out. HMPH. You did that on purpose to get rid of him, didn't you? Chen Yang stared at Ye Zhen with a mix of anxiety and anger. In fact, there were 2 other consultation rooms for Western medicine nearby, one for the department head and one for the deputy. They also had nurses on duty. However, their medical skills were nowhere near as refined as Ye Zhen's. Chen Yang, you are the patient now, and I am the doctor, Ye Zhen said firmly. If you feel too awkward to continue, you can always go to the other rooms. Ye Zhen was beginning to lose his patience. It was as if he was the one begging to treat her. What a joke! Offending a skilled doctor was never wise, especially one as talented as him. You think I'm stupid? I know you're still holding a grudge because I rejected you back in the day. Chen Yan rolled her eyes at him, a hint of disdain in her gaze. She didn't believe for a second that Ye Zhen had forgotten about the past. Being a doctor didn't make him a saint. She was sure that, like any man, he couldn't resist ogling a beautiful woman. Har har, thanks for the reminder, Ye Zhen replied sarcastically. Now that you mention it, it does feel a bit unfair. How could a beauty like you end up with that pig Liu Jie? He glanced at her mockingly, a hint of mischief in his eyes. To be honest, she still had that youthful charm. Despite being married, Chen Yang was as radiant and captivating as ever, with an aura that could still make men swoon. Even if Liu Jie is a pig, he is still a fine pig. Unlike you. Chen Yang's voice trailed off. She had wanted to call him a simp or a backup boyfriend, but bit her tongue at the last moment. The truth was, life with Liu Jie wasn't exactly blissful. Their marriage was more of a compromise than a love story. You're here for treatment, not to chat. Stop wasting time, Ye Zhen said as he stood up. He led Chen Yang into a small treatment room at the back and motioned for her to lie down on the examination bed. Chen Yang shot him a sharp look but lay down as instructed. In the past, whenever she had seen a doctor, it had been a simple, clinical experience. Sure, it was awkward at times, but nothing too overwhelming. But this was different. This was Ye Zhen, a man she had once had feelings for. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mix of nervousness and embarrassment swirling within her. "Can you please look away? Why are you staring at me like that?" she exclaimed, visibly flustered. Ye Zhen sighed, exasperated. Treating this woman was more exhausting than treating 10 normal patients. "Ye Zhen, I'm warning you. Don't get any funny ideas, or I'll kill you," Chen Yang threatened, her eyes fierce, her tone sharp. But deep down, she felt a pang of guilt. She realized that seeing Ye Zhen again had stirred up old emotions that she thought she had buried. Years had passed, but she still hadn't completely forgotten him. Of course, she'd never admit that to anyone. "Fine. If you want treatment, I'll treat you. If you don't, you can leave," Ye Zhen retorted, growing impatient. He put the silver needles back into the box, clearly fed up. This woman was being utterly ridiculous. If he didn't provoke her a little, she'd probably never snap out of it. Besides, there were 2 other patients waiting outside. He didn't have time for this nonsense. "Ye Zhen, you're such a jerk." Suddenly, Chen Yang sat up and pinched him hard. Her eyes were filled with both anger and a hint of affection, like a playful scolding from a childhood sweetheart. Ye Zhen was stunned. What was happening? This wasn't how a doctor-patient interaction was supposed to go. It was as if they had become a couple squabbling over something trivial. This was a hospital, not a playground. Ye Zhen flicked her forehead with his finger, his tone serious. "Chen Yang, are you here to be treated or not? If you're not, go home and come back after you've thought it through." "Fine. I'll do it, okay." Chen Yang finally gave in, her face full of determination. She had no choice. Her insomnia was getting worse, keeping her up almost every night. It was unbearable. Chapter 3, Ye Zhen. Chen Yang became extremely cooperative afterward. She followed every instruction that Ye Zhen gave her. The acupuncture process was both risky and awkward, with a hint of pain. Chen Yang gritted her teeth and endured it. Before long, 30 minutes had passed. Ye Zhen withdrew each needle one by one, stood up, and smiled, "All done. It went smoothly. Rest for a few minutes, and then you can leave." After packing up the silver needles and closing the box, Ye Zhen turned and walked toward the door. As he reached the doorway, he glanced back at her and reminded, "By the way, your husband has a serious stomach problem. Make sure to bring him in for treatment, or it could become a big issue." Chen Yang froze on the spot. After a brief rest, she quickly left in a hurry. Ye Zhen shook his head and didn't give it much thought. Next, 2 patients arrived, both middle-aged women in their 40s. Neither of them were particularly attractive. One had a stomach problem, and the other had a headache. Since neither case was severe, Ye Zhen didn't bother with acupuncture and simply prescribed them some medicine. After seeing these 3 patients, Ye Zhen finally had a moment to relax. After all, most people preferred to seek treatment from Western medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine wasn't as popular. Next door, the Western medicine clinic run by Director Zheng was packed with patients. At nearly 50 years old, Director Zheng was feeling the toll on her health and was visibly exhausted. Looking at the long line of patients, Director Zheng smiled wryly and said, "Let us send a few over to the traditional Chinese medicine department to see Director Ye. Director Ye is a specialist flown in from the provincial capital, and his medical skills are extraordinary. Yes, he is a miracle doctor. His acupuncture technique is the best in the entire province. No matter how serious the illness is, a single acupuncture session can cure it, no second treatment required." The patients exchanged looks but remained hesitant. After all, Ye Zhen was a young traditional Chinese medicine doctor. His age alone made them doubt his ability. One of the young, beautiful women hesitated for a moment before getting up and leaving the line. This woman was Ye Zhen, a police officer in Xiong County. Recently, she had been suffering from severe headaches for 2 consecutive days and had to take sick leave to rest. Today, the pain was unbearable, so she finally came to seek treatment. Ye Zhen decided to give Director Ye a try. As she stepped into the clinic and saw the young, handsome doctor in front of her, she was stunned. To be honest, she instantly regretted her decision. Could such a young man, a pretty boy at that, really have amazing medical skills? Who would believe it? "Miss, please have a seat," Ye Zhen said with a smile, gesturing for her to sit. He glanced at her and, after a brief moment of observation, furrowed his brows and sighed, "You have a severe headache, coupled with internal injuries. Actually, your headache is partly related to your martial arts training. As the saying goes, where there is pain, there is blockage. If the blockage is cleared, the pain goes away. That's exactly what's happening here. Practicing martial arts is fine, but everything should be done in moderation. Overtraining can damage your body. Furthermore, your internal injury is a much bigger issue than your headache." Ye Xiaomai was dumbfounded, her eyes wide with shock. He hadn't taken her pulse or performed any examination, yet he knew she had a headache and even pinpointed her internal injury. How impressive was that? The truth was, during a recent operation to apprehend a criminal, Ye Xiaomai had been kicked in the lower abdomen, sending her flying 5 or 6 meters. The injury had been serious. Although she had received treatment, there were lingering after-effects. Because of this, her supervisor transferred her to work in the archives department. Unwilling to give up, Ye Xiaomai trained diligently in martial arts, hoping to one day return to the criminal investigation team. Snapping back to her senses, Ye Xiaomai asked excitedly, "Director Yi, can you treat this internal injury of mine?" The moment she finished speaking, she regretted it. The location of her injury was a little sensitive below her abdomen. The doctor in front of her was a young man and, worse, a handsome one. Letting him examine and treat her would be beyond awkward. With the Muyi divine needle technique, it can be treated, but... Ye Zhen paused and glanced at her with a teasing smile. "The location of your injury is a bit unusual. Are you sure you want to go ahead with the treatment?" You can tell where I'm injured." Ye Xiaomai let out a cry of surprise, staring at Ye Zhen with newfound awe. This young man was no ordinary person. He seemed to possess an air of mystery and a level of skill that was absolutely extraordinary. This was the first time she had ever met such a magical man. Her heart couldn't help but skip a beat. Ye Xiaomai had a bold and lively personality. Walking over to sit in front of Ye Zhen, she propped her chin up with both hands, smiled sweetly, and asked, "Dr. Yi, do you have a girlfriend?" Ye Zhen was momentarily stunned before giving a wry smile. "I had one, but we just broke up. She dumped me." Chapter 4, The Uninvited Guest. "Really? That's great. So, what do you think about me? Consider it for a moment." Hearing that Ye Zhen didn't have a girlfriend, Ye Xiaomai was overjoyed. At 25 years old, she had never been in a relationship, which she found a bit embarrassing. It wasn't that no one pursued her, it was that none of them met her standards. The men who liked her were either lusting after her looks or chasing her for her status and family background. Ye Xiaomai was a well-known beauty in the police force, famous and highly regarded. "I'm not looking for a girlfriend right now. I'm just not in the mood." Ye Zhen shook his head, rejecting her. The girl in front of him was indeed beautiful, with a curvy figure where every curve was in the right place. She was as stunning as Chen Yang, another top beauty. "Huh? Am I not pretty enough? My figure is amazing too, isn't it?" Ye Xiaomai stood up, puffing out her chest proudly. At 1.75 meters tall, she had a fiery figure that was absolutely flawless. More importantly, this was the first time she had ever confessed to a man and she got rejected. "You are beautiful, and your figure is great too. But if you want to be my girlfriend, your motives aren't pure. To be blunt, you just want to treat your illness and are using this as an excuse." Ye Zhen glanced at her, not falling for it. This girl was clever. If she became his girlfriend, getting treatment would no longer be awkward. What? Nonsense. Ye Xiaomai felt aggrieved. It had been hard for her to take a liking to someone, but he had no interest in her. Feeling upset, she suddenly found Ye Zhen quite annoying. A sharp pain twisted in her abdomen. Ye Xiaomai sat down, pressing her hands on her lower stomach as she grumbled, "The menstrual cramps are killing me. Just prescribe me some medicine." Ye Zhen advised her, "Menstrual cramps are easy to treat. One session of acupuncture, and it will never come back." "No, I'll just take the medicine." Ye Xiaomai shook her head. "All right." Ye Zhen didn't press the issue and simply prescribed her some medicine. After taking back her health insurance card, Ye Xiaomai stood up, ready to leave. But as she took a step, another sharp pain twisted through her abdomen. She had no choice but to sit back down, leaning forward as she pressed on her stomach with both hands. "How about this? I'll help you massage it to ease the pain." Feeling a twinge of sympathy, Ye Zhen walked over, crouched in front of her, and placed his hands on her lower abdomen. Don't. Ye Xiaomai's face turned red. She quickly tried to push his hands away. To her surprise, she couldn't budge them. Her expression shifted, and she stared at Ye Zhen with wide eyes, exclaiming, "You know martial arts?" To become the famous police flower of her department, Ye Xiaomai wasn't just a pretty face. She could take down 7 or 8 strong men with ease. But the young doctor in front of her had such unfathomable strength that she was filled with caution. Ye Zhen didn't respond. Instead, he continued pressing on her abdomen. On the surface, it looked like a simple massage, but in reality, it was a special treatment method. Huh? Wow, that's amazing. It doesn't hurt anymore, it feels like I'm completely cured. Ye Xiaomai gasped softly, her eyes filled with astonishment as she gazed at Ye Zhen, her eyes now filled with a trace of admiration. A bold idea popped into her head. With a playful smile, she said, "Dr. Yi, if you don't want a girlfriend, then I'll become your apprentice." Ye Zhen withdrew his hands, stood up, and shook his head, "No. I don't take apprentices." "What? You're so infuriating." Ye Xiaomai stomped her foot, shot him a sharp glare, and then stormed out of the room, fuming. Ye Zhen chuckled lightly and didn't take it to heart. The morning passed like this, with him seeing 4 patients in total. Just as he was about to call it a day, an uninvited guest arrived. It was none other than the hospital director, Tang Yumei. At 40 years old, she had once been one of the 4 great beauties of Xiong County. Even now, despite her age, she remained more stunning than most young women, her beauty still dazzling. The moment Ye Zhen laid eyes on her, he immediately understood why Director Tang was still single at her age. It was the same reason as her elder sister, Tang Yulin. Neither of the sisters liked men. Her elder sister, Tang Yulin, was the director of the People's Hospital in the provincial capital and the top surgeon in the province. Her younger sister, Tang Yumei, was also a surgical expert, famous in her own right. Chapter 5, Meeting the Ex-Girlfriend. Director Yi, just now, my sister called. She wants you to hurry back to the Provincial People's Hospital to assist in saving a pregnant woman. The patient has a special constitution and is undergoing a cesarean section with massive bleeding, acute hypovolemic shock, and multiple organ failures: liver, kidneys, and heart failure. She is in critical condition. Tang Yumei rushed in, panting, clearly anxious. The pregnant woman in question was of high status, and her surgery was being led by Tang Yumei's sister, Tang Yulin. If she died in the hospital, Tang Yulin would be held responsible, and the consequences would be severe. I'm not going. I've already left. What does it have to do with me? Ye Zhen shook his head in refusal. Being sent to Xiong County wasn't something he had accepted without complaint, but this was going too far. They didn't want him before, but now they were calling him back. Not going. The patient has a powerful background. We've already arranged a helicopter to bring you back. Once you return, I'll arrange a good department for you. Tang Yumei explained, pulling out her phone to call her sister. After chatting with her sister for a moment, she handed the phone to Ye Zhen. Ye Zhen took the phone, and his first words were, "Director Tang, you're the one performing the surgery, right?" Normally, when high-status pregnant women required cesarean sections, it was Tang Yumei herself who would perform the surgery. There was a brief silence on the other end of the line before Tang Yulin replied, "Dr. Yi, Director Zheng wants to send you away, and I can't stop it." In truth, Tang Yulin had always treated Ye Zhen as a treasure. She would never want him to leave. Ye Zhen was in charge of the traditional Chinese medicine department, and everything was running smoothly with 0 incidents. Not hearing a response from Ye Zhen, Tang Yulin explained, "Xiao Yi, consider it as me owing you a favor. The patient is the daughter-in-law of Pan Zhenlin. We've done everything we can, and without you, no one can save her." Ye Zhen furrowed his brows. Pan Zhenlin, the richest man in Southeast Province, was notorious for his connections in both the legal and illegal worlds. The Pan family was powerful, known as their first family in Southeast Province, with deep roots and a terrifying background. While Ye Zhen didn't fear the Pan family, provoking them wasn't wise. After a moment of thought, Ye Zhen agreed, "All right, I'll help out this time for Director Tang's sake, but don't forget the favor you owe me." After hanging up, Ye Zhen glanced at Tang Yumei's hourglass figure and couldn't help but sigh. Not liking men is also a sickness. Getting married and having children, wouldn't that be wonderful? What nonsense are you talking about? Tang Yumei's face turned red, and she was deeply shocked. She had heard that Ye Zhen was a miracle worker, renowned for his acupuncture skills, but she hadn't expected him to be so bold. My Jie, if you figure it out, come find me. I'll treat you and guarantee that you'll fall in love with men. As soon as the words left his mouth, Ye Zhen regretted them. He had just invited trouble. Sure enough, Tang Yumei misunderstood and stared at him in disbelief, asking, "Are you saying that if you cure me, I'll fall in love with you?" She wasn't interested in men, but this young doctor certainly intrigued her. My Jie, where did your mind go? Ye Zhen felt incredibly awkward. Luckily, the helicopter arrived, landing on the hospital rooftop. Soon, Ye Zhen was airborne again, headed for the provincial capital. After landing, he rushed into the Provincial People's Hospital and headed straight for the obstetrics and gynecology department. To his surprise, he saw a few familiar faces. His ex-girlfriend, Lu Yusin, and that scoundrel, Zheng Bin. Ye Zhen, what are you doing here? Do you even have the right to stand here? Get out. Lu Yusin sneered, shaking her head. It was laughable, a poor country boy, thinking he could marry her, a goddess. She had clearly been deluded. Now living with Zheng Bin and enjoying their high life, she realized that Ye Zhen had been taking advantage of her for years, and she was now filled with frustration. Chapter 6, The Divine Doctor. I heard you became the director of the TCM department at Xiong County People's Hospital. From the provincial hospital to a county hospital, how is that? Doesn't he feel too good, does it? Zheng Bin, with his arms around his girlfriend's waist, mocked Ye Zhen, his eyes full of disdain. He had always disliked Ye Zhen, a grassroots doctor. How dare he, a country bumpkin, have such a beautiful girlfriend like Lu Yusin? Taking Lu Yusin from him, Zheng Bin was overjoyed and felt like he had reached the peak of his life. Shut up and stop making noise. Zheng Chunqiao, the director of the Municipal Health Bureau, shot them a stern look. The case involving Pan Jinlin's daughter-in-law was serious. Many people from the government, the Health Bureau, and the Drug Administration had arrived. Several business tycoons with connections to the Pan family were present, crowding the area. Zheng Bin, you're the one picking up the pieces, huh? I've already had 6 years of her, and you're acting like you found treasure. It's just a faded flower. What's so special about her? I know everything about her. To be honest, I've had my free time with her, and you just paid for her. Ye Zhen's words cut deep, and he spoke harshly to tear down Zheng Bin's ego. Zheng Bin couldn't speak, his eyes wide in shock. It was as if Ye Zhen had stabbed him straight in the heart. It was a death blow, a seed planted deep inside, as Zheng Bin's eyes started to shift when he looked at his girlfriend. Ye Zhen, are you looking to die? Lu Yusin gritted her teeth, furious. Not only had Ye Zhen taken advantage of her for 6 years, but now he was exposing all of her dirty laundry. How would she ever hold her head up in the Zheng family? Zheng Chunqiao's face darkened, and he glared at Ye Zhen coldly. For a doctor, medical ethics are paramount. If you make another mistake, I'll have you kicked out of the medical system. Unexpectedly, Ye Zhen wasn't intimidated. He shot back, Director Zheng, you control the medical system, you hold the lives of all doctors in your hands. If you're unhappy, you'll just send me to a rural town. I won't even be able to cry. But don't forget, Director Zheng, your misfortune is coming. You'll be out of a job soon, and when that happens, I'll set off firecrackers and celebrate. You're out of line. Zheng Chunqiao's face turned pale, and his expression was livid. The people standing around were all stunned, their eyes now on Ye Zhen. The Pan family controlled the pharmaceutical industry, and many of the business tycoons who had come to visit were from the medical field. Wang Yuhua, the CEO of Henghua Pharmaceutical, was close friends with Director Zheng. The two had a deep relationship. Wang stood up, mocking, he's just a county hospital doctor. What's the big deal? Ma Depao, the CEO of Ruichang Pharmaceuticals, glared at Ye Zhen, threatening, a county doctor daring to curse Director Zheng. You're looking for trouble. Deng Kun, the CEO of Huawei Medical Supplies, was even more blunt, a fool, offending Director Zheng. Do you want to die? Director Zheng was pleased, smiling at them. Ye Zhen, a small fry, trying to fight against him. Was he crazy? Suddenly, several black-suited bodyguards pushed through the crowd. Get out of the way. Everyone, step aside. Pan Zhenlin's father and son, along with Tang Yulin, were personally escorting an elderly man. Whoa, isn't he that one of the three great medical saints of Gui Hall, the famous Hua Shindi? Someone recognized the elderly man and couldn't he believe it? The crowd quickly parted to make way. Ye Zhen's expression turned strange as he stepped aside. Hua Qiantai, known as the first knife of China, was as skilled in surgery as Tang Yulin. The situation involving Pan Zhenlin's daughter-in-law massive bleeding, multiple organ failures, and the need for a surgeon to step in wasn't as simple as it seemed. Chapter 7 Dr. Hua takes action. Dr. Hua, I'm Wang Yuhua from Hanghua Pharmaceutical Company. I've admired you for a long time. I'm Mar Depao from Ruichang Pharmaceutical Company. Today, I saw Dr. Hua, and he really has the demeanor of a god. I'm Deng Kun from Huawei Company. I've admired Dr. Hua for a long time. The three CEOs rushed out and bowed, all wanting to curry favor with Dr. Hua. Dr. Hua smiled at them and didn't take it seriously. Dr. Hua, please. Pan Zhenlin looked at Dr. Hua with awe, admiration, and expectation in his eyes. This time, can his daughter-in-law be rescued? It all depends on the old man in front of him. Dean Tang personally called to call Ye Zhen back, and Pan Zhenlin just dealt with it perfunctorily. How strong can a young man in his 20s be? Boss Pan, don't worry, your daughter-in-law will be fine when I'm here. Dr. Hua is full of confidence. Able to become the medical saint of the National Medical Hall, in addition to surgery, he is also good at Chinese medicine acupuncture. Dr. Hua, thank you. As long as you save my wife, our Pan family will give you 50 million yuan in reward. Pan Xiaodong was very excited and generous, and promised a large sum of money. The doctors, officials, and wealthy people standing next to him were all shocked. Performing an operation and earning 50 million yuan, this speed of making money is enviable. Har har, Mr. Pan, you are too polite. Dr. Hua smiled and was very satisfied. At this time, a discordant voice sounded, the person is almost dead, let a surgeon perform the operation, really think it's like killing a pig. Everyone turned their heads and looked at Ye Zhen, their eyes full of anger. Dr. Hua is the leader of the medical community. A young man, not only disrespectful, but actually spoke wildly and mocked, isn't it infuriating? Tang Yulin was a little surprised to see Ye Zhen. She walked up to him and said angrily, Xiao Yi, you came back without telling me. Dr. Hua frowned and asked unhappily, President Tang, who is this guy? Pan Zhenlin suppressed his anger and asked coldly, President Tang, this guy is the one you invited back, Ye Zhen, the director of the Department of Traditional Chinese Medicine of Xiong County People's Hospital. Oh, I thought he was a famous doctor. It turns out he is a county-level doctor. Dr. Hua shook his head, his eyes full of mockery. There are really all kinds of people. A doctor from a county-level hospital dared to question him, overestimating himself. Everyone standing by was amused. The director of the Department of Traditional Chinese Medicine is very famous. Yes, overestimating himself. That's right, who is he? Isn't he just a county-level doctor? He is also a chief physician after all, he. Everyone talked a lot, mocked, and no one took Ye Zhen seriously. Also, the attitude of the Pan family father and son towards Ye Zhen was too bad. Dean Tang was furious. He turned to Pan Zhenlin and said coldly, Mr. Pan, you invited Dr. Hua back. Can Chen Rong be saved? You Pan family will be responsible for it. Our hospital will not be responsible. If Dr. Yi is asked to rescue Chen Rong, our hospital will be willing to take responsibility if he fails to save her. With so many people as witnesses, you Pan family can make your own choice. Dean Tang knew better than anyone about Ye Zhen's medical skills. He was definitely better than Dr. Hua. Ye Zhen had been the director of the Department of Traditional Chinese Medicine for 2 years with 0 accidents and all praises. This was evident. Pan Zhenlin took the initiative to invite Dr. Hua, and Dean Tang was also very angry. The father and son looked at each other, Pan Zhenlin nodded and said, okay, we will take responsibility ourselves. How can a young man be better than Dr. Hua? We believe in Dr. Hua. Dr. Hua was a little moved and smiled, Mr. Pan, don't worry, I will take action and guarantee that you will have a jumping Chen Rong. After their voice fell, Dr. Hua pushed open the door of the operating room, walked in and closed the door. Chapter 8 Ye Zhen takes action. Dean Tang pulled Ye Zhen aside, frowned and asked, Xiao Yi, what do you think is the probability of Dr. Huer saving Chen Rong? After all, she was the main surgeon for Chen Rong's cesarean section. If she really died on the operating table, she still had a certain responsibility. Ye Zhen sighed, there is not even a 10% probability. Multiple organ failure, liver, kidney, and heart failure, even gods can't save her. Then Chen Rong. Dean Tang screamed and his face changed drastically. A beautiful woman died on the operating table just like this. It's hard to think about it. Dean Tang asked anxiously, tell me the truth, if you take action, how sure are you? If you take action now, there is an 80% chance that even if you save her, she will be a living dead person, a vegetative state. We delayed too long, and the father and son of the Pan family love to toss and turn, and we have missed the best time to rescue her. Ye Zhen did not hide it. Originally, she could have been rescued. After such a long delay and being tossed around by Dr. Huer, Chen Rong lost half her life. Over there, at the door of the operating room. Dr. Huer went in for a few minutes and came out. Looking at his dejected look, you know that it is not a good thing. Sure enough, as soon as Dr. Huer opened his mouth, the Pan family despaired. Multiple organ failure, the heart has stopped beating, even gods can't save her. Just now, Dr. Huer was still talking nonsense and took it on him. As a result, Chen Rong was directly sentenced to death. Pan Zhenlin and his son looked at each other, speechless. Who said she can't be saved? Dean Tang pulled Ye Zhen over and sighed, now, if Dr. Yi helps, she can still be saved. At most, she will become a vegetable, but she won't die. Is it true? Pan Zhenlin was a little excited. As long as she is alive, there is hope. Even if she becomes a vegetable, there is still a day when she will wake up. Pan Xiaodong looked at Ye Zhen and didn't express his opinion. To be honest, he didn't believe Ye Zhen. On the other hand, he felt uncomfortable asking Ye Zhen to save his wife. Dean Tang rolled his eyes and said, Mr. Pan, you should treat a dead horse as a living one. Don't you understand this saying? Think about it, the person is about to die, what is there to hesitate? Pan Zhenlin made the final decision, okay, please ask Dr. Yi to help save Ronga's life. Ye Zhen did not refuse, and took Dean Tang into the operating room and closed the door. In vain, a superfluous move. Dr. Huer shook his head and stood there without leaving. Originally, Chen Rong was not supposed to die. Unfortunately, the heart stopped beating after delaying for too long. The father and son of the Pan family smiled bitterly, their faces were ugly, and they were silent. Director Zheng, Zheng Bin, Liu Yusen, and the CEOs standing next to them did not dare to speak. Everyone hoped that Chen Rong would be fine, but they were not optimistic about Ye Zhen. In the operating room, it was another scene. Chen Rong was lying on the operating table. Her face was as pale as a death, without a trace of blood, and she was out of breath. Even so, it was difficult to hide her beauty. Her face and figure were both exquisite and impeccable. It was the first time that Ye Zhen saw such a stunning beauty, and he couldn't help but take a few more glances. Dean Tang was also a great beauty, but compared with Chen Rong, she was still a level lower. Walking over and checking, Ye Zhen was very surprised. She is not dead, she is still hanging onto her breath, and she can be rescued. After the voice fell, Ye Zhen took out a box, took out a silver needle, and gently shot it into Chen Rong's heart. Seeing that Chen Rong did not respond, Ye Zhen freed one hand and rubbed, twisted, and rubbed the silver needle. Dean Tang stood by with a serious face. There were several nurses and 2 doctors standing by, watching, keeping silent and not daring to disturb. Chapter 9 Resuscitated. Soon, the alarm sounded from the machine next to her. Chen Rong had a heartbeat, and was really saved by Ye Zhen. Dean Tang fell to the ground, gasping for breath. Nurses and doctors were all surprised. But this was just the beginning. If you want to save Chen Rong, you need to use the Mu Yi magic needle. Mu Yi magic needle is one of the Jade Girl 9 classics. The Mu Yi magic needle has a miraculous effect in treating internal injuries and repairing exhausted organs. Puff. 9 silver needles flew out and pierced into 9 acupuncture points in Chen Rong's body. Then, Ye Zhen waved his hands, dazzling people. Dean Tang and others standing by were all stunned. It had long been heard that Ye Zhen's acupuncture could bring the dead back to life. Now, after seeing it with their own eyes, they believed it. Chen Rong had multiple organ failure, so it was not easy to save her. After acupuncture for about half an hour, Ye Zhen stopped, took back the silver needles, and sat beside her panting. This rescue made him exhausted and almost fainted. After a short rest, Ye Zhen smiled and told the truth. She was saved, but it's hard to say whether she can wake up. In fact, Ye Zhen still concealed something and was unwilling to say it. In Chen Rong's case, she could wake up after 3 acupuncture treatments. After 2 or 3 months of recuperation, she recovered and was like a normal person. But the Pan family father and son were too hateful, and Ye Zhen was angry. Great, he's alive. As expected of Dr. Yi, you're awesome. What Dr. Hua? You're nothing. Dr. Yi, you're my idol. The nurses and doctors cheered. Dean Tang grinned. Dean Tang, remember, the silver needle in the heart can only be removed after 12 hours. That's the life-saving needle. Once it's removed, even gods can't save him. The patient is not out of danger yet. It's best not to move him casually within 12 hours. I'll leave the rest to you. I'm going back. After giving some instructions, Ye Zhen opened the door and walked out. Seeing Ye Zhen coming out, Pan Zhenlin was overjoyed and asked excitedly, Dr. Yi, how is it? Has he been rescued? His daughter-in-law, Chen Rong, is of noble status. If she dies, their Pan family will be blamed and it will be very troublesome. Pan Xiaodong didn't hold out hope. He had a dark face and didn't say a word. Before Ye Zhen answered, Lu Yusin, who was standing next to him, laughed and said, it's strange that a county-level doctor would save people. Zheng Bin added, yes, this guy is very wretched and a piece of trash. Director Zheng's face changed drastically. 2 idiots, are you looking for death? Sure enough, Pan Zhenlin looked over, murderous, where did these 2 barking puppies come from? Drag them down and slap them. 2 black-clad bodyguards rushed over, grabbed Zheng Bin and Lu Yusin, and dragged them to the stairs. Lu Yusin was scared and trembled, knowing that she had caused trouble. Zheng Bin was scared and sweated, looked back at his father, and shouted, old man, save me. Director Zheng was helpless, walked to Pan Zhenlin, and begged, Mr. Pan, the 2 young people are ignorant, please forgive them once. Pan Zhenlin rolled his eyes and didn't want to pay attention to him. What the hell? He really didn't take a director of the Municipal Health Bureau seriously. The bosses standing nearby turned their heads and pretended not to see it. Soon, Lu Yusin and Zheng Bin screamed from the stairs. Don't. Don't hit me, I know I was wrong. Hearing his son's screams, Director Zheng had a dark face, but dared not speak. Others looked at each other, trembling with fear. Chapter 10 First Love Visits. Dr. Hua looked at Ye Zhen and asked, Dr. Yi, what's the matter? If you can't save her, you'll be in trouble. Chen Rong is the daughter-in-law of the richest man Pan. Ye Zhen has been tossing and turning for a long time and killed her. The richest man Pan will definitely not let him go. Sure enough, Pan Zhenlin's voice changed, Dr. Yi, if you disappoint me, I will make you despair. Director Zheng and others standing next to him were gloating, with surprise in their eyes. Yes, if he can't save her, will Pan Zhenlin let Ye Zhen go? Don't even think about it. Ye Zhen, this fool, is dead. Is the Pan family so awesome? The richest man in Southeast Province, I'm so scared. Ye Zhen rolled his eyes at the other party and left. Pan Zhenlin was almost mad. A doctor in a county hospital dared to provoke him, which was extremely rampant. At this time, Dean Tang came out and announced the good news, she's alive. Dr. Yi said that she might wake up after a while. Pan Zhenlin was dumbfounded. Pan Xiaodong's eyes widened. Dr. Hua was shocked on the spot. Everyone was stunned. She was really saved. Soon, Pan Zhenlin and his son rushed into the operating room. Dr. Hua rushed in. Doctors and nurses rushed in. Dean Tang turned around and walked in. Others were stopped and the door was closed. Chen Rong was lying on the operating table, wearing a hospital gown. The instrument next to her showed that her heartbeat was normal, and her liver and kidneys were back to normal. How is it possible? Impossible, how can a dead person be saved? Dr. Hua muttered, staring at his boss. A pregnant woman with heart, liver, and kidney failure, with no heartbeat, actually survived. Moreover, the person who did it was a doctor at a county hospital. It's a miracle. Yes, it's incredible. Dr. Yi is so amazing. The doctors and nurses standing by cheered and were in high spirits. Pan Zhenlin breathed a sigh of relief, and a hint of coldness flashed in the corner of his eyes. Pan Xiaodong frowned, feeling very bad. The beautiful wife was saved, but became a vegetable. A vegetable is also called a living dead. Pan Xiaodong looked at his wife and began to consider divorce. On the other side, Ye Zhen left the hospital, stopped a taxi, went to the high-speed rail station, and took the train back to Xiong County. For Ye Zhen, rescuing the pregnant woman Chen Rong was just a small episode. But he never expected that this move would completely change his fate and let him take another path. That night, Ye Zhen returned to Xiong County. To work in Xiong County, Ye Zhen specially rented a small suite with 2 bedrooms and a living room. Sitting on the sofa playing with his mobile phone, someone called in. Seeing the words, "First Love," Ye Zhen grinned. In high school, he pursued Chen Yang for 3 years and was given the title of lovesick. Now think about it, he is just a fool, hopeless. On the contrary, his ex-girlfriend Lu Yusin gave him a lot of warmth, which made him have endless aftertaste. In the end, Lu Yusin still betrayed him and taught him a lesson. After answering the phone, Ye Zhen pretended to be sad and sighed. "You are married, why are you calling me?" "Humph, where do you live?" "I want to see you." Chen Yang was a little surprised. Obviously, Ye Zhen had not forgotten her. Originally, she wanted to ask Ye Zhen out to meet and keep in touch. In the end, she changed her mind when the words came to her lips. "Really? You want to see me? I'll add you on WeChat, and then send you a location." Ye Zhen hung up the phone, and soon, Chen Yang sent him the WeChat QR code. Ye Zhen scanned it, added it, and sent her a location. Chapter 11 Regret. Look at the time, it's 7:30 in the evening. Chen Yang chose to meet him at night, or to come to his house. Ye Zhen shook his head, went into the bathroom, took a shower, and tidied up the living room. Soon, there was a knock on the door outside. Ye Zhen walked over and opened the door. White short-sleeve top, denim shorts bottom, beautiful and fresh. No matter how you look at it, she doesn't look like a young woman, but just a little girl next door. HMPH, don't welcome me. Seeing Ye Zhen blocking the door, Chen Yang glared at him hatefully, feeling like a sheep in the mouth of a tiger. He, welcome, definitely welcome. Ye Zhen stepped aside and let Chen Yang step into the room. "Chen Yang, did you quarrel with your husband? By the way, let me tell you, let your husband come to see the doctor, what did he say?" Walked into the room, closed the door, and asked with concern. Chen Yang smiled bitterly. "I told him, he didn't listen, what can I do?" But he promised to consider it. She couldn't even talk about the things between them, it was too embarrassing. Liu Jie has many friends and often goes out to drink. It would be strange if he doesn't have stomach problems. Oh, you should persuade him more. I can see that your husband is in poor health and has a bad stomach. Sit down first and play with your phone. I'll make you some tea. Ye Zhen persuaded him, stood up and went to make tea. Seeing Ye Zhen behaved well, Chen Yang felt relieved and relaxed. Facing the man who had pursued her, Chen Yang felt very conflicted. "Come, have some tea." "Chen Yang, I haven't seen you since I graduated from high school." To be honest, Liu Jie's family is not bad. He seems to be quite good to you. It's just that his health is a little broken. After you go back, persuade him and ask him to see a doctor. Ye Zhen poured her a cup of tea guanyin. Chen Yang is indeed very beautiful and charming, and she is his first love. But she is married after all and has a family. Ye Zhen, you. Chen Yang was a little moved and speechless. Gritting her teeth, Chen Yang boldly asked, "Ye Zhen, tell me the truth, have you forgotten me? But you are married and have a husband. Why should I remember you? After all, we can't be lovers, but we can be friends." Ye Zhen was very frank and told the truth. He no longer had any feelings for his first love. "Ye Zhen, you are really stupid, a fool. If you had been tougher back then, you would have taken me down long ago. To be honest, it was me who missed you and a good man." Chen Yang looked into Ye Zhen's eyes and spoke her mind. Now she regretted it. When Liu Jie was dating her, he had several girlfriends outside without telling her. As she spoke, she looked at Ye Zhen with a burning look in her eyes. "Chen Yang, sit still, I'll give you a head massage." Feeling that something was wrong with the other party, Ye Zhen quickly stood up, stretched out his hands, and massaged her head. It was amazing. Chen Yang woke up as soon as he pressed her finger. "Chen Yang, you have to cherish the present and don't give up. Liu Jie is still pretty good. He will be fine once he recovers." He massaged and persuaded her. Ye Zhen could only do this. He tried his best. What choice would Chen Yang make later? He couldn't control it. I know. Thank you. Ye Zhen, do you know? You are in my heart. Chen Yang stopped talking halfway. I really can't say it. Once it's said, it will be bad. What time is it? I should go back. Chen Yang was a little flustered. She pushed Ye Zhen's big hand away and stood up. Probably because she didn't stand firmly, she leaned over and fell into Ye Zhen's arms. Be careful. Ye Zhen was helpless and had to hug her. Chen Yang was stunned. At this time, Ye Zhen's mobile phone, which was placed on the tea table, suddenly rang. I'll take a call. Ye Zhen let go of Chen Yang and took the phone. Chapter 12: 3 Heroes in One Family. It was very unexpected. It was an unfamiliar phone number. Looking at the region, it was from another province, the neighboring South China province. Is it a harassing call? Originally, Ye Zhen didn't want to answer it, but when he saw the ringing lasted for more than 40 seconds, he answered it anyway. Hello, are you Dr. Ye Zhen from Xiong County People's Hospital? The other party's tone was friendly, but with a kingly aura, looking superior. It was obvious that the other party was not simple, but a big shot. Ye Zhen responded, yes, I am Ye Zhen from Xiong County People's Hospital. Well, thank you for saving my daughter's life. The other party suddenly said this, and Ye Zhen was confused. When did he go to South China province? Arabian Nights, don't be so funny, okay? Then, Ye Zhen was stunned on the spot. Is the other party not Chen Rong's father? Are you Chen Rong's father? Ye Zhen blurted out. If I guessed correctly, the other party was a member of the Chen family. Sure enough, it was completely correct. Yes, my name is Chen Bin, Chen Rong is my daughter. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have forced her to marry into the Pan family. Dr. Yi, thank you for saving her life. By the way, Dr. Yi, what's the situation with my daughter? Can you tell me in detail? Is it possible for her to wake up? Chen Bin regretted it very much. He only had one son and one daughter. I heard that his daughter almost died in the obstetrics operating room. Chen Bin was shocked and called a helicopter to fly over from the provincial capital of South China. A living person was still talking and laughing with him on the phone last night. Today, she became a vegetable. He really couldn't accept it. This. Ye Zhen hesitated for a moment, but still told the truth. Chen Rong's physique is a bit special, it's one of the better ones. Acupuncture once a week, 3 times in a row, she will wake up. When she wakes up, I'll prescribe her a prescription. Take it for a month and she will almost recover. In the afternoon, I was angry with the father and son of the Pan family, so I'm too lazy to say it. Opposite, Chen Bin was a little excited. In fact, he didn't have much hope. Massive bleeding, liver, kidney, heart failure, even gods can't save her. As a result, Ye Zhen pulled his daughter back from the gates of hell, which was a miracle. Now, the other party said that his daughter could wake up and recover, and tears almost shed. Dr. Yi, is what you said true? Roma, she, can really wake up. As long as you cure Roma, I promise you a lifetime of wealth and honor, and a high position. Ye Zhen trembled all over, his eyes widened. A fool could tell that the other party was extraordinary and had a great background. Well, really, I won't joke about such things. Next Wednesday, take her to Xiong County People's Hospital to see me. After hanging up the phone, Ye Zhen was still in deep thought. The Chen family of South China province. By the way, the Chen family is one of the 8 major families in Kyoto. Also, there is a vice-governor named Chen in Southeast province. Ye Zhen, I'm going back. Let's contact each other when we have time. Chen Yang got up from the ground, not daring to look directly at Ye Zhen, opened the door and left. What happened at night was deeply imprinted in her mind and could not be erased. Ye Zhen didn't take it to heart. He turned on his phone, entered Chen Bin's name, and searched. A line of words popped up, which surprised him. Chen Bin, the top leader of South China province, inspected. Wow, the big boss of South China province. Soon, he saw another piece of news. The Chen family in South China has 3 heroes. The eldest, Chen Long, is the boss of the Lingnan military region. The second, Chen Nan, is the vice-governor of Southeast province. The third, Chen Bin, is the top leader of South China province. It is indeed a family of 3 heroes, none of them is a coward. He accidentally saved Chen Bin's daughter, what does it indicate? Thinking about what Chen Bin said just now, Ye Zhen grinned. Chapter 13 Getting Rich. This time, he really got rich. Originally, Ye Zhen wanted to cure diseases and save lives, and live an ordinary life. But today, the father and son of the Pan family taught him a lesson. Having magical medical skills can indeed cure diseases and save lives, but compared with power, it is not worth mentioning. How many people can you save with your hands? Besides, saving a few people can't change anything. Having power can benefit countless ordinary people. Let's say his hometown, Gaoshan Town, Xiong County, has always been at the bottom and is extremely poor. My parents opened a Chinese medicine clinic in the town, or to be more precise, a health center. There is also a sister who went to work in other places with her brother-in-law. And he, who is the best, has his girlfriend taken away by others. It seems that he suddenly got enlightened, and Ye Zhen's mentality is different. The next morning, Ye Zhen went to work in the Department of Gynecology of the People's Hospital. As a result, before he could sit down, the director Tang Yumei rushed in. Director Yi, you saved Chen Rong. Did you know? Chen Rong's second uncle is the vice governor of our southeast province. And her father is the top leader of the neighboring South China province. You are going to be rich, brat. I guess I will give you my position as the dean. Tang Yumei looked at Ye Zhen with burning eyes, as if she wanted to eat him. If the age difference between the two was not so big, she would have wanted to pursue Ye Zhen. Ye Zhen was calm and composed. She rolled her eyes and advised, Sister Mai, you should cure your own disease. What's the point of living alone all your life? This. Director Tang was a little embarrassed and frowned, I am 40 years old. Even if I cure my disease, there is no one I like. But you, you don't look down on me anyway. I am more than 10 years older than you, so I am really not suitable. How about this, you teach me acupuncture, and I will repay you. Ye Zhen was stunned. What the hell? What is the old woman thinking? However, Tang Yumei is really beautiful. She takes good care of herself and looks like she is only 27 or 28 years old, a mature girl. She is first-rate in appearance, figure, and temperament, and is no worse than Chen Yang. Director. The family of the patient in Gaoshan Town can't afford the hospitalization fee and surgery fee. You go over and take a look. A beautiful nurse rushed in. Han Mai Yin, the most beautiful nurse in the People's Hospital, is tall and graceful. She is very slim, not the type Ye Zhen likes. Okay, I'll go over and take a look. Director Tang left. Ye Zhen frowned, feeling a little uncomfortable. Even though they all paid for medical insurance, ordinary people and civil servants received different treatment. Yesterday, a tax cadre was sent in. After emergency treatment, he was admitted to the ICU, an intensive care unit, which costs 20,000 yuan a day. Just because he is a civil servant, he doesn't have to pay a penny and spends the money for medical insurance. Ordinary people who come to treat illnesses can get more than half of the medical insurance money reimbursed, but for those who have no money, the burden is too heavy. After hearing that the patient was from Gaoshan Town, Ye Zhen left the clinic and went to take a look. Despite his excellent medical skills, there are some diseases that he is helpless against. For example, fractures, cancer, and mental illness. At the door of the operating room in the inpatient building, a haggard woman knelt on the ground. Director Tang, please save my child. We really have no money. Let alone 20,000 yuan for hospitalization, 50,000 yuan for surgery, we can't even afford 1,000 yuan. Tang Yumei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The hospital is not a charity organization. There are countless people who come to treat illnesses every day. Moreover, the majority of people are poor. At this time, Ye Zhen walked to Dean Tang and asked with concern, what's the situation? Chapter 14 Fellow Villager. This elder sister's son was driving a motorcycle. He turned too fast and fell off the road. His head was bleeding and several ribs were broken. One of the broken bones was inserted near the heart. It is very dangerous and must be operated immediately. After the operation, he has to stay in the ICU. The cost is really high, estimated to be more than 100,000. Tang Yumei explained with a complicated expression. If it weren't for her excellent medical skills, seriously injured people like this would have to be sent to a large hospital in the provincial capital. Of course, the medical expenses are too high and ordinary people can't afford it. Hey, isn't this Aunt Qian? Ye Zhen called softly. Qian Dae, from Linyang village, Gaoshan town, Ye Zhen's neighbor, Uncle Wen's wife. My parents went to Gaoshan town to open a Chinese medicine clinic. Their house was built in the town and they rarely went back to their hometown. Ye Zhen is the same. He hasn't been back to his hometown for more than 10 years. You are. Aunt Qian looked up at Ye Zhen and shook her head, not recognizing him. Ye Zhen walked over, helped her up, and smiled. Aunt Qian, I'm Xiao Zhen. You are the son of the old Chinese medicine doctor, Ye Zhen from next door. You are so big now, and you have changed so much. Aunt Qian really can't recognize you. Aunt Qian grabbed Ye Zhen's arm and finally recognized him. I never dreamed that the little boy next door would appear here, wearing a white coat. Aunt Qian was overjoyed and knelt down again, begging, Xiao Zhen, no, Dr. Yi, please save my son Lin, please. Aunt Qian, get up quickly. Don't worry, I'm here, Yi Lin will be fine. Ye Zhen quickly helped her up, turned to look at Tang Yumei, and discussed, Dean Tang, you help Yi Lin with the operation first, and then I will give him acupuncture. In this way, he doesn't need to stay in the ICU, he can stay in the ordinary ward. In addition, I will pay for Yi Lin's surgery. Just like that, under Ye Zhen's arrangement, Aunt Qian's son Yi Lin was pushed into the operating room, and Dean Tang performed the operation himself. Ye Zhen and Aunt Qian were waiting outside the operating room. Xiao Zhen, thank you. I will pay you back the money I owe you when Liner makes money. Aunt Qian was grateful. If she hadn't met Ye Zhen, her son would have died. It's very realistic that poor people can only wait to die if they don't have money to see a doctor. But no one cares about the life and death of others. There are many who add icing on the cake, but few who help in times of need. Auntie Qian, don't be polite. We are all family. Ye Zhen smiled and didn't take it to heart. If you are hospitalized in this county, the medical insurance will reimburse half of the cost, which is only tens of thousands of yuan. 3 hours later, the door of the operating room opened and Dean Tang walked out. Doctors and nurses followed. Dean Tang took off his mask and smiled. It went smoothly. All were connected. There is no danger to life. Thank you, Dean. Thank you. Ye Zhen hugged her, entered the operating room, and closed the door. Yi Lin had not woken up yet and was lying on the operating table. But his vital signs were normal and he had indeed passed the critical period. Ye Zhen walked over and took out the needle box. Using the Mu Yi magic needle can treat internal injuries, repair organs, and let the injured recover soon. Half an hour later, Ye Zhen opened the door and walked out. After the patient wakes up, he can live in the general ward. With a word of advice, Ye Zhen left. Dean Tang followed and said with a smile, Xiao Zhen, should you treat me to dinner? Ye Zhen turned around and looked at her, nodded and said, okay, I'll treat you to dinner tonight. Dean Tang gave him a glare and punched him lightly. Okay, it's a deal. Ye Zhen was stunned. Dean Tang is a little cute. Then, Dean Tang said a word, and Ye Zhen ran away. As long as you teach me acupuncture, I promise not to let you down. Oh my god, I can't stand it. Ye Zhen ran away. Chapter 15 Help Dean Tang treat illnesses. After lunch, around 2 o'clock, Ye Zhen appeared in the TCM clinic. People who came to see the doctor lined up in a long line. Strangely, Director Yi's clinic was deserted, with no one. The Western Medicine clinic was busy. No one believed in the TCM doctors. Ye Zhen was happy to be free, playing with his mobile phone and browsing Douyin. Around 5 o'clock, an old woman came over. Ye Zhen checked and found it was not serious, so he prescribed some medicine for her. Then, Ye Zhen got off work. Unexpectedly, he received a call from Dean Tang just after leaving the hospital. Xiao Zhen, come to my house for dinner tonight. I will cook a few good dishes myself to treat you. After hanging up the phone, Ye Zhen felt favored. That's the dean of the People's Hospital, and a great beauty. Despite Dean Tang's age, she is well maintained and looks very young. In terms of appearance and figure, she is not inferior to the school beauty Chen Yang. She is even more charming than Chen Yang. Walking to the hospital gate, as expected, Dean Tang was sitting in the car, waiting for him to come out. After getting in the car, Ye Zhen had a bad feeling. As expected, the first sentence of Dean Tang was, Xiao Zhen, help me treat my illness after dinner. Are you sure? Have you thought it through? Ye Zhen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What is coming will come, and you can't avoid it. Well, you're right. What's the point of living alone all your life? Dean Tang glanced at Ye Zhen. Xiong County's new city district is full of tall buildings. Dean Tang bought a commercial apartment, 160 square meters, which is quite large. The decoration is high-end and luxurious. They are not short of money. Tang Yumei's parents are in the countryside, so she lives alone. The dishes made by this woman are really delicious, and Ye Zhen is enjoying a feast. After dinner, Tang Yumei simply cleaned up and went into the bedroom. After more than 10 minutes, the door opened. Tang Yumei came out after changing into a long nightgown. Not bad, it fits well. Ye Zhen praised. Dean Tang wore a white coat, and you can see that she has a protruding and curved hourglass figure. Now, she is wearing a long nightgown, standing tall and graceful with exquisite curves. How is it? Surprise. Ye Zhen stared at her and was stunned. Tang Yumei was a little proud. To her, her perfect body is a precious work of art. In this world, who else but the man she likes is qualified to appreciate it? Well, a little surprise. Ye Zhen nodded, very calm. You can start now, give me acupuncture. Dean Tang glared at him, inexplicably disappointed. Ye Zhen seemed to dislike her and had no feelings for her. Okay. Ye Zhen nodded, took the needle box, took out the silver needles, and concentrated on helping her treat her. After the acupuncture, Ye Zhen left. Tang Yumei lived alone, so Ye Zhen didn't dare to stay any longer. The next day, Ye Zhen got up very early and called Dean Tang. Ye Zhen's first sentence was, "How is it? Do you feel it now?" Dean Tang was confused. What? What do you mean? Hey, the disease is cured, you can try it. How to try? Wow, you are not a barren woman, are you? Ye Zhen was speechless and rolled his eyes. Shaking his head, Ye Zhen taught, stupid, you can do this. Can you? Oh, I see. Dean Tang screamed and hung up the phone. Here, Ye Zhen was amused, har. In the next few days, Ye Zhen was very relaxed, basically no patience. School beauty Chen Yang did not show up, I wonder what she was doing? The beautiful and charming Ye Xiaomai also did not show up. On Wednesday of next week, Ye Zhen started to get busy. Chen Bin personally escorted his daughter to Xiong County People's Hospital. Chapter 16 Remuneration. Seeing Ye Zhen so young and handsome, Secretary Chen's eyes lit up. Isn't this the son-in-law he picked up right away? Pan Xiaodong proposed a divorce, and Secretary Chen agreed to it for his daughter without hesitation. He had regretted it a long time ago and wanted to kick Pan Xiaodong out. The daughter was arranged in a special ward. Ye Zhen went in, closed the door, gave acupuncture for half an hour, and came out. Secretary Chen, she is recovering very well. Send her here for acupuncture on Saturday, and your daughter will wake up. Ye Zhen was smiling and in a good mood. Chen Rong is so beautiful, she is so beautiful that she can make fish sink to the bottom of the water and geese fall to the ground. It is a great blessing to help her treat illnesses and give her acupuncture. Of course, Ye Zhen treats people very seriously and formally, and never takes advantage of others. Chen Rong is so beautiful, a sleeping beauty, and Ye Zhen didn't even touch her. In his eyes, the other party is just a patient. Dr. Yi, thank you. Chen Bin was very grateful and a little touched. From beginning to end, Ye Zhen did not mention the consultation fee. The other party did not say anything. Chen Bin took the initiative to mention, Dr. Yi, I haven't given you the consultation fee yet. Tell me, what do you want? Money, power, beauty, I can give it to you. This. Ye Zhen was a little shocked. The other party was so arrogant, obviously, he had the ability. In recent days, he has been thinking about a question, is it better to be a doctor or an official? Being a doctor saves lives. Being an official benefits the people. Thinking like this, Ye Zhen smiled and asked, Secretary Chen, do you think it is better to be a doctor or an official? Chen Bin was stunned for a moment, and said with a smile, there is no contradiction between the two. You become an official, doesn't it mean that you can't treat diseases and save lives? Yes, I am too stubborn. Ye Zhen suddenly understood and patted his forehead. Since you can choose again, why not become an official? Ye Zhen scratched his head and said with a smile, Secretary Chen, if possible, please arrange a grassroots position for me. I want to go to the officialdom for some experience. Chen Bin nodded and said, okay, when you cure Rona, I will arrange for you to work in the town government and be the town party secretary first. Town party secretary, it's not a small position, it's at the section level. Ye Zhen was very surprised and asked, Secretary Chen, I want to go to Gaishan Town, Xiong County for some experience. Okay, you get ready, and go to Gaishan Town to take up the post next week. Chen Bin smiled, took out his mobile phone and called his second brother. Arranging a town party committee secretary is a piece of cake for Deputy Governor Chen Nan. Xiong County governs 16 towns, and Gaishan Town is at the bottom. It is high, cold, far and remote. Okay, thank you Secretary Chen. Ye Zhen left. A moment later, he appeared in the dean's office. What? You want to go to Gaishan Town? Dean Tang was shocked and his face turned black. Ye Zhen's entry into the officialdom is a huge loss for the hospital. On the other hand, the distance is too far. It takes 2 hours to drive from the county town to Gaishan Town. Don't worry, I will come to the county town to see you often. Ye Zhen glared at her and coaxed Dean Tang into submission. Dean Tang thought about it and gave his Audi to Ye Zhen. Ye Zhen declined, but still accepted it. On the other hand, Chen Bin went to the provincial capital to visit a friend and left his daughter in Xiong County People's Hospital. Strangely, no one from the Pan family came to visit Chen Rong. On Saturday, Ye Zhen gave Chen Rong acupuncture again. Sure enough, Chen Rong woke up. Ye Zhen wrote a prescription for conditioning and handed it to Secretary Chen. Secretary Chen was generous and gave a huge sum of 1 million as a reward. Ye Zhen couldn't refuse and had to accept it. Secretary Chen left with his daughter. A week passed like this. Chapter 17 Going Home. A new week begins. At around 8 o'clock, Ye Zhen eats something casually and prepares to go to work. Suddenly, he receives a call from Xiong County Secretary Wang, asking him to go to the county government. Deputy Governor Chen Nan calls and asks Secretary Wang to arrange everything. Ye Zhen meets Secretary Wang and discusses for more than an hour. On Thursday, the new secretary of Gaishan Town takes office and will convene a town and village cadre meeting. At that time, Secretary Wang and Minister Liu of the Organization Department will take a group of people to Gaishan Town to announce the appointment. Ye Zhen makes a prompt decision and returns to Gaishan Town tomorrow to visit his parents and to visit Gaishan Town incognito to see what is going on. The next day, Ye Zhen drives an Audi to Gaishan Town. Unexpectedly, he receives a call from Chen Yang just after leaving the county. Ye Zhen, are you free? Accompany me back to my hometown. My mother is sick and I want to go back to see her. Ye Zhen frowns, feeling that the other person has a problem with his brain. Your mother is sick. Why don't you go to your husband but me? It just so happened that Chen Yang was also from Gaishan Town. Ye Zhen responded, what a coincidence, I'm going back to Gaishan Town today. Send me the location and I'll drive over to pick you up. After hanging up the phone, Chen Yang soon sent the location. It was a bit surprising that Chen Yang was at the long-distance bus station. It turned out that Liu Jie ran to the provincial capital. Chen Yang was timid and didn't dare to drive a car, and she didn't have a driver's license. Seeing Ye Zhen driving an Audi over, Chen Yang was a little surprised. Are all doctors so rich? After getting in the car, Chen Yang casually asked, go home to see your parents. No, I go to work in Gaishan Town. What? Are you kidding? Chen Yang screamed and her eyes widened. Ye Zhen is the chief physician of the County People's Hospital. He is very impressive at a young age. To be the director of Gaishan Town Health Center. Is it possible? Really, I'm not lying to you. I'm now the secretary of Gaishan Town Committee. Ye Zhen didn't hide it. Anyway, she would know it sooner or later. Today, Chen Yang dressed up beautifully and charmingly in a white dress. Is it true? You don't want to be a doctor anymore. Chen Yang was quite surprised. It was inexplicable, a little sad and lost. If she had chosen Ye Zhen, she would be an official's wife now. Don't underestimate the secretary of the town committee. He is at the level of a section chief, which is quite awesome. Liu Jie is really good to her, but he is too philandering. Even though he has a bad stomach now, he often goes to the provincial capital to spend money. It's all fake to say that he doesn't regret it. Because of the treatment, they are closer. Now, Chen Yang looks at Ye Zhen with a completely different look. Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? By the way, why do you keep looking at me? Am I that handsome? Feeling that the other party is a little strange, Ye Zhen couldn't help teasing. HMPH, what does your handsomeness have to do with me? Chen Yang rolled her eyes at him, looking angry. Ye Zhen was a little unromantic. That's right, you're married and have a husband. Ye Zhen nodded, looking as if he had suddenly realized something. Dizzy. Chen Yang rolled her eyes, blushing as she recalled the past. Back then, high school went home on vacation. The two often went to the grove for trysts, being affectionate and inseparable. That night, if she hadn't met the hunting team, she would have been taken down by Ye Zhen. Now, thinking back, Chen Yang blushed and lowered her head. Ye Zhen, tell me the truth, don't you have any feelings for me? Chen Yang stared at Ye Zhen. Since meeting Ye Zhen in the hospital, coupled with her disappointment in her husband, Chen Yang longed to see Ye Zhen, but tried hard to restrain herself. Today, her husband went to the provincial capital to play, and she took this opportunity to go back to her parents' home. Arriving at the long-distance bus station, she took out her cell phone and called Ye Zhen without hesitation. Getting on the bus, she threw her heart on Ye Zhen. This. Ye Zhen smiled awkwardly, not knowing how to answer. At this time, the cell phone next to her rang. My mother Lin Qin suddenly called in. After answering the phone, Lin Qin cried out, Xiao Zhen, the clinic was smashed. Chapter 18 Monkey Brother. What? Who smashed it? Ye Zhen was furious. My father Ye Kun has superb medical skills and a good reputation. Of course, compared with him, the gap is a bit big. There is a hardcore condition for learning the acupuncture methods in Jade Girl 9 Classics. Ordinary people can only learn the first 2 or 3 needles. Only when you step into the warrior can you perform the middle acupuncture method. Only when you step into the master can you be qualified to perform the last acupuncture method. The middle acupuncture method relies on internal strength to stimulate. The latter acupuncture method uses qi to control the needle, which can only be done by the master. Ye Kun was just an ordinary person, and he had learned a little bit, which was more than enough to deal with ordinary diseases. It was a man called Monkey Brother. After his mother Lin Qin narrated the story in a discontinuous manner, Ye Zhen finally understood what was going on. It turned out that around 7:30 in the morning, a man was poisoned and unconscious, and his injuries were serious. This guy was Monkey Brother's subordinate. Knowing that Ye Kun was a good doctor, the brothers sent him to Beikoutang Chinese medicine clinic for treatment. Ye Kun checked and told them to rush to the county hospital for rescue, or to a large hospital in the provincial capital. The whole body was purple, unconscious, and almost dead. How could he, a small village doctor, have such great skills? The other party discussed it and called Monkey Brother. As a result, they left the injured and left directly. Ye Kun was so scared that he dragged the injured out of the door with his wife. Just as he dragged him to the door, the injured died. At this time, Monkey Brother's men came back. They said that Ye Kun killed the injured, and they wanted Ye Kun to pay compensation and help with the burial. It was obviously a frame-up. Ye Kun was furious and had a big fight with them. Then they rushed in and smashed the Chinese medicine clinic. Mom, call the police first, I'll drive back and be there later. After hanging up the phone, Ye Zhen's eyes were full of murderous light. Even a fool could see that Monkey Brothers gang deliberately framed the Beikoutang Chinese medicine clinic to stop operating. The poisoned injured were most likely poisoned by Monkey Brother. Ye Zhen, what happened? Chen Yang asked with concern. Ye Zhen responded, my father's clinic was smashed by someone named Monkey Brother. Monkey Brother. This guy is Wu Yi's man. Chen Yang screamed and her face changed drastically. Her mother's home is in Maishan village, near the town. Coincidentally, Monkey Brother is also from Maishan village. His real name is Chen Biao. Because he is too thin, he looks like a monkey. After following Wu Yi, everyone calls him Monkey Brother. By the way, Monkey Brother once pursued Chen Yang. Wu Yi, what's your background? Ye Zhen frowned and asked. Unexpectedly, Chen Yang actually knew Monkey Brother, Wu Yi. Wu Yi Tang Sen, the richest man in Gaoshan town. It is said that Wu Yi monopolized the forestry industry in Gaoshan town and made a lot of money. By the way, the 5 brothers of the Tang family in Maiyang village are all well-known bigwigs. The eldest brother Tang Long and the second brother Tang Hu are engaged in real estate in the provincial capital. The third brother Tang Bao is the director of the Xiong County Transportation Bureau. The fourth brother Tang Jie is the mayor of Gaoshan town. Chen Yang introduced them with a serious face. The Tang family is rich and powerful. They cover the sky with one hand in Gaoshan Town. No one dares to provoke them. Monkey brother is Wu Yi's man and is very difficult to deal with. Even if Ye Zhen is the secretary of the Gaoshan Town committee, he still dares not provoke Wu Yi. So, to deal with Monkey brother, you have to face Master Wu. Ye Zhen didn't take it to heart. Master Wu has a backer, and he also has a backer. In fact, even without the help of the Chen family, Ye Zhen still has a way to deal with Master Wu. A genius doctor can cure diseases and save people, and can also kill people. Almost. Master Wu has 4 great kings under his command, and Monkey brother is one of them. If you want to deal with Monkey brother, Master Wu will definitely take action. Ye Zhen, I advise you to deal with this matter peacefully. It's best not to make enemies with the 5 brothers of the Tang family. Chen Yang looked at Ye Zhen, very worried. Ye Zhen was unlucky enough to encounter such a thing just after returning to Gaoshan Town to take up his post. Chapter 19. The speaker did not mean it. Yang, thank you for telling me this. Don't worry, I know what to do. It's you, take care of yourself and be happy. Ye Zhen smiled at her, a little moved. Chen Yang is indeed vain and chose Liu Jie, a rich boy, but her love for him is also real. You, a fool. Chen Yang rolled her eyes and felt unhappy. What do you mean? Ye Zhen pretended to be surprised. Okay, drive your car, I'm not kidding you. Chen Yang glared at Ye Zhen, sat farther away, crossed her arms, turned her head and looked out the window. Her eyes were a little wet and she was in a bad mood. Well, look at the scenery on the roadside, the countryside is full of scenery. Ye Zhen responded, thinking while driving. It seems that Gaoshan Town is a bit complicated and not that simple. The only industry in Gaoshan Town is forestry, with many trees and bamboos. It is high in altitude and very cold, so it is not suitable to grow fruits. There is no special scenery for developing tourism, it is too far from the county town, and the road conditions are not good, so no one is willing to invest. After thinking about it, it is most suitable for summer vacation, with fresh air, cool and not hot. In summer, the county town and the provincial capital are so hot that they are like ovens. Only Gaoshan Town does not need air conditioning. In summer, you have to wear a jacket. It is still a bit cold when you sleep at night. It is already summer, and the heat is annoying. After passing Yulin Town, you will feel cool and not so hot. Starting from Yulin Town, you will keep climbing up the slope and going around the mountain. Entering Gaoshan Town, gusts of cool breeze blow over, which is refreshing. Wow, the air in my hometown is so good, fresh and cool. Chen Yang, who was sitting next to her, couldn't help but scream. The breeze blew, lifting her black hair and covering half of her cheek. Yes, my hometown is still good, no need to turn on the air conditioner. It's a pity that it is too far from the county town. Otherwise, it would be absolutely refreshing to come to Gaoshan Town for vacation in summer. Ye Zhen was full of emotion and felt it was a pity. Such a good place, with beautiful mountains and clear waters, is the poorest township in Xiong County. Chen Yang looked out the window and murmured, yes, it's too far from the county town, the road conditions are bad, and it's blocked by Lianhua Mountain. Otherwise, it would be closer to Qingyang City. The speaker is unintentional, but the listener is attentive. Ye Zhen was shocked and his eyes lit up. Opposite Gaoshan Town is Lianhua Mountain, which stretches for more than 10 kilometers. A highway passes behind Lianhua Mountain. To the north is Qingyang City, which takes about 20 minutes on the highway. To the south is the provincial capital, which takes about 30 minutes on the highway. Under Lianhua Mountain, a tunnel is opened, and then a highway intersection connection line is built. It only takes 10 minutes to drive from Gaoshan Town. Then, on the other side of the highway, an entrance and exit of Gaoshan Town is opened, which is very convenient to go to Qingyang City and the provincial capital. It takes 30 minutes from Gaoshan Town to Qingyang City. It takes 40 minutes from Gaoshan Town to the provincial capital. In this way, Gaoshan Town develops a tourist resort and a summer resort, which is like a paradise. When summer comes, all the rich people come here to escape the heat and go on vacation. The economy of Gaoshan Town is definitely booming. Of course, it is very difficult. Funding is a problem. Without hundreds of millions, it cannot be done. Connections are equally important. In a remote and poor town, who cares if you live or die? But it is obvious that once the plan is implemented, the whole town will be revitalized. This time, Ye Zhen gave up medicine and entered politics, with the goal of benefiting the people and contributing to his hometown. Making Gaoshan town a treasure land is deeply engraved in Ye Zhen's heart. Chapter 20 Compensation. Ye Zhen, what are you thinking about? Seeing that Ye Zhen ignored her, Chen Yang pouted. Does a beautiful woman lose all her charm just because she is married? Oh, I'm thinking about something big, the future development of Gaoshan town. Ye Zhen was in a good mood and felt relaxed. The first thing I did after entering the town government was to attract investment and build a summer resort in Gaoshan town. In this regard, you can contact Chen Bin and see if the Chen family is interested. There is also Tang Yumei, the family behind her is also very famous. All right. Chen Yang was a little unhappy. What is a beautiful woman thinking about when she sits next to you and doesn't flirt with you? Ye Zhen is a bastard that people both love and hate. For the rest of the journey, one was thinking and the other was silent. 2 hours later, we entered Gaoshan town street. The street is more than 100 meters long, with old bungalows on both sides, a new vegetable market and a dilapidated clinic. Over 10 years later, there has been basically no change. In broad daylight, the streets were deserted and it was rare to see many people. Ye Zhen drove into a small road nearby and sent Chen Yang home first. When they were about 100 meters away, Chen Yang ordered, "Okay, get off here, so that others won't see you and start gossiping." Chen Yang got out of the car, waved at Ye Zhen, and said jokingly, "Stupid, remember, don't think about me." Then he turned around and walked forward. Damn, this woman. Ye Zhen rolled his eyes. It's not that he doesn't want to, but as a doctor, it's best not to provoke patients. Chen Yang is his first love and also his patient. I've already given up, but you still come to provoke me, what's the meaning? Ye Zhen shook his head and drove away. Park your car near Beikotan Chinese Medicine Clinic, get off, and walk forward 50 or 60 meters and you will arrive. Sure enough, the Chinese Medicine Clinic was smashed beyond recognition, with tables and chairs scattered all over the place, the medicine cabinet fell to the ground, and herbs scattered all over the floor. There was a dead body lying at the door, and a dozen young men standing beside it, looking fierce. Daddy Kun sat in the Chinese Medicine Clinic, sighing. My mother, Lin Qin, stood there in a daze. There were many onlookers standing in the distance, and no one dared to come closer. Ye Zhen approached, but was stopped by a young man with dyed hair. Get out of here, are you looking for death? A dozen young people looked at Ye Zhen as if he were a fool. Ye Zhen stopped and looked at the group of people in front of him. He remained calm and took out a cigarette and lit it. If he hadn't come back to be the town party secretary and maintain a good image, he would have definitely beaten them up and thrown them out one by one. But now, he had to endure it, put his hand on the guy's shoulder, and asked with a smile, "Are you sure you want to kill me?" "You, wow, it hurts, who are you?" The young man with dyed hair screamed, his eyes filled with fear. "My whole body aches, as if I were cursed." Moreover, he couldn't break free and was suppressed by a mysterious force. "Xiao, you're back." Hearing her son's voice, Lin Qin came out. Ye Kun was a little surprised and stood up. Ye Zhen let go of the young man with dyed hair and said, "Hello, Dad, Mom, are you okay? You are their son, Ye Zhen. I heard that you are doctor in the provincial capital." A young man as thin as a bamboo pole looked at Ye Zhen with a playful look in his eyes. Gaoshan town is Wu Yi's world, and a doctor from a provincial capital cannot cause any trouble. "Are you Brother Monkey? Tell me, why did you smash my clinic?" Ye Zhen looked at the other person with narrowed eyes. This guy won't be able to jump around for many days. The same thing goes for Master Wu, uprooted. Your father killed someone while treating him, and he was unwilling to pay compensation, so he smashed the clinic. This is considered a light punishment. Since you are doctor in the provincial capital, I will pay you 500,000 yuan to settle our grudges. Brother Monkey was too lazy to talk nonsense and directly put forward his conditions. Chapter 21 Admit Mistake. I thought the other party would negotiate or bargain. Unexpectedly, Ye Zhen took out his mobile phone, opened Alipay, and said with a smile, "Sure, Alipay transfer." At this point, Ye Kun got angry. "Zhener, this has nothing to do with our family. He died of poisoning himself. Why should we pay compensation?" Lin Qin took over the conversation. "Yes, they framed us, it has nothing to do with our family." Ye Zhen shook his head and said with a smile, "People die here, so we have to give them an explanation." Don't worry, it's not easy to take my money. Then, Ye Zhen approached Monkey Brother and said sternly, I'll give you 500,000 yuan. Drag the body away. Otherwise, you will be punished. Monkey Brother grinned and said, it's just a spit and a nail. If you pay the money, the matter will be settled. Then, Brother Monkey took out his mobile phone, opened Alipay, and asked Ye Zhen to scan the QR code to pay. Secretary Chen gave Ye Zhen 1 million yuan and deposited it in a bank card. Ye Zhen scanned the QR code and transferred 500,000 yuan. Monkey received the money, beaming with joy, and ordered, brothers, get to work, drag the leopard away, and help him deal with his aftermath. Dr. Yi, you are so nice to talk to. Thank you for the 500,000 yuan. Being a doctor is different. You have no shortage of money. Brother Monkey patted Ye Zhen on the shoulder and smiled hypocritically. Then they left with the leopard's body. As soon as he walked into the alley opposite, Monkey Brother screamed, it hurts so much. After seeing Monkey Brother and his gang leave, the villagers who had gathered around looked at the alley in amazement. Monkey held his head with his hands, rolled on the ground, and screamed. Oh, no. Quick, take me to see Dr. Yi. This guy was not confused. He knew that his sudden headache was related to Ye Zhen. Over there, at Beikotang Chinese Medicine Clinic, Yi Kun and his wife were both blaming their son. Xiong, are you stupid? Not only do we not let them pay the money, but we also have to pay $500,000. That's right, Brother Monkey and his gang smashed the clinic. Do you know how much money the loss was? Ye Zhen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Is it so easy to get his money? At this time, police officers from Gaoshan Town Police Station rushed over. One of them is an acquaintance, policewoman Ye Xiaomai. Ye Xiaomai has just been transferred to Gaoshan Town for training and serves as the chief of the police station. Something happened today, so Ye Xiaomai is not at the office. How could anyone else dare to meddle in Brother Monkey's affairs? Ye Xiaomai returned to the police station, heard about this, and immediately sent out police. The Chinese medicine clinic was smashed and a patient died. This is a big deal. As soon as I walked to the door, I saw Ye Zhen sitting inside. Ye Xiaomai was stunned for a moment, then asked in surprise, Director Yi, why are you here? After struggling for a few days, Ye Xiaomai still wanted to get treatment. Ye Zhen was right. Dysmenorrhea was not a big deal, but internal injuries were more troublesome. They were becoming more and more frequent, and would occur every night, making her life worse than death. This clinic is opened by my parents. Ye Xiaomai, do you work here, or are you a police officer? Ye Zhen was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Ye Xiaomai was a police officer, and from Gaoshan Town Police Station. It is hard to imagine that a young girl, a policewoman at that, would come to Gaoshan Town to work. Ye Xiaomai explained, I was originally from the county bureau, and was sent down to gain experience. Yesterday, I was transferred here to serve as the chief of the police station. At this time, Monkey Brother's men carried him and ran over. Monkey King was like an eggplant hit by frost, shivering and no longer majestic. Dr. Yi, I know I was wrong and I won't do it again. I will return the money to you immediately, without asking for a penny. Brother Monkey took the initiative to admit his mistake, took out his cell phone, and transferred 500,000 yuan to Ye Zhen. Originally, he wanted to return the money, and after Ye Zhen was cured, he would let his brothers give Ye Zhen a good beating. But now, the police from the police station have arrived, and he can only let Ye Zhen go temporarily. Chapter 22, Get Information. Brother Monkey, your brother's death has nothing to do with my parents, right? Ye Zhen looked at the other person with a smile on his face. A small gangster stepped on his head, how stupid he was. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. He was poisoned to death. How dare Monkey Brother show off and frame others? My head hurts so much. It's so painful. Director Yi, did you hear that? It has nothing to do with my parents. But this Monkey Brother needs to be investigated. His brothers died of poisoning. Maybe he has something to do with it. Ye Zhen helped his parents to distance themselves from the matter and also gave Ye Xiaomai a special reminder. Actually, it's just disgusting Monkey Brother. Even a police station chief wouldn't dare to provoke Brother Monkey. Okay, I'll look into it. Ye Xiaomai nodded and winked at Ye Zhen. Ye Zhen pretended not to see it, turned to look at Monkey Brother, and asked, You smashed my parents' clinic, do you have to pay me? Not much, 50,000 is fine. Yes, yes, I'll pay, I'll pay. Monkey brother had no choice but to become a grandson and transferred another 50,000 yuan to Ye Zhen. This is what it means to try to steal a chicken but end up losing the rice. After receiving the money, Ye Zhen reached out and tapped and touched Monkey brother's head a few times. Strangely enough, my headache is gone. Monkey was stunned for a moment, then thanked him repeatedly. Thank you, Dr. Yi, thank you so much. Ye Xiaomai got Ye Zhen's cell phone number and took Monkey brother and his gang away. At this time, the villagers who had gathered on the opposite side to watch the excitement rushed over. Old Yi, this is your son, he's amazing. Yeah, even Monkey brother admitted defeat, that's really awesome. You guys better be careful, Brother Monkey is a popular person around Master Wu. Yes, Brother Wuya is the mayor. The villagers were talking about it with complicated expressions. The fifth master's power is too great, and they are all worried about Ye Zhen. Uncles, aunts, come in and sit down and chat. I heard that Master Wu is a cancer in Gaoshan town. Besides Master Wu, what else is blocking the development of Gaoshan town? Everyone, please speak up. I know the new secretary who was parachuted in. When the time comes, I can report the situation to him. Ye Zhen asked everyone to sit down and learn about the situation in Gaoshan town. These villagers are either from nearby villages or own shops and have stayed here their entire lives. They are more familiar with the situation in Gaoshan town. The villagers flocked into the clinic, each one of them was very enthusiastic. Dr. Yi, Gaoshan town is too far and too remote, and transportation is inconvenient. This is one of its shortcomings. It's high and cold, not suitable for growing fruit, so the villagers can only plant trees and invest in the forestry industry. The most abominable thing is that Wuya has monopolized the forestry industry and forced villagers to sell their forests for a small amount of money. As for bamboo and bamboo shoots, they are all purchased by Master Wu's men. Outsiders dare not interfere. In recent years, some people have started growing tea leaves and tea oil, and they have been targeted by Master Wu again. To put it bluntly, the villagers in Gaoshan town have no way to survive. After listening to the villagers' chatter, Ye Zhen's eyes lit up. Gaoshan town has beautiful mountains and clear waters, which is very suitable for growing tea. For example, tea Eguinian, Longjing tea and so on. There is also tea oil, which sells for 50 or 60 yuan per pound, and people in the city are scrambling to buy it. If you set up a tourist resort or a summer resort, you can sell these local specialties. Gaoshan town has many villages and a large population of about 60,000. For a big town, it is far from enough to just develop the tourism industry, it also needs to develop the rural economy. There is a lot of land in Gaoshan town, most of which is wasteland and the fields are abandoned. All the young people have run away and gone to work in other places. Also, in order to allow their children to enjoy a better education, many people go to the county town to buy or rent a house and let their children go to school in the county town. It is estimated that only 1/3 of the people, or about 20,000 people, actually stay in Gaoshan town. Chapter 23 Making Money. The villagers dispersed and Ye Kun and his wife packed up the clinic. Ye Zhen went to the police station to find Ye Xiaomai to discuss the destruction of Wu Yi's gang and restore peace to Gaoshan town. On their way, Ye Zhen called Chen Nan. Secretary Chen gave it to him. If you have any questions, you can call Vice Governor Chen directly. After the call was connected, Ye Zhen introduced himself. Hello, uncle, I am Ye Zhen. Hello, Dr. Yi, thank you for saving Roma's life. Chen Nan was very polite. You're welcome, Uncle I want to thank you. After some polite exchanges, Ye Zhen said directly, Second uncle, there is something I may need your help with. Ye Zhen explained in detail, hoping that the other party could help. Without the tunnel, Gaoshan town will have no future. Unexpectedly, the other party smiled and said, this is a win-win situation. The government doesn't need to pay. Our Chen family is willing to invest, but... After thinking for a while, Chen Nan made a request, open up tunnels, road connecting lines, and highway entrances and exits. We in the Chen family will take care of these and help you get them done. But your town government wants to exchange a piece of land. The Chen family wants to develop a tourist area and a summer resort in Gaoshan town. For the specific implementation plan, the Chen family will send someone to contact and negotiate with your town government. I have to say that Chen Nan has a good business sense. The Chen family spent a huge amount of money to invest in Gaoshan town. Not only will they not lose money, but they will also make a lot of money. Open the Gaoshan Town Expressway entrance and exit and dig a tunnel. Then, the land value in Gaoshan Town will skyrocket and the Chen family will make a lot of money. Gaoshan Town Police Station. Ye Xiaomai sat in the director's office, feeling extremely depressed. As soon as Monkey Brother and his gang were taken to the police station, the deputy director of the county bureau called her and asked her to release Monkey Brother and not interfere in the matter. Ye Xiaomai has a strong background and was parachuted down from the provincial capital to gain experience. But she was just a small police officer after all, and it was not a good thing to offend the deputy director. What's more, Monkey Brother is Wu Yi's man. Among the 5 brothers of the Tang family, none of them is a vegetarian. Ye Xiaomai had just arrived in Gaoshan Town to work and didn't dare to offend anyone. There was no other choice but to ask a few questions and then release Monkey Brother and his gang. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. "Come in." Ye Xiaomai looked listless. Ye Zhen pushed the door open and walked in. "Wow, Director Yi, why are you here?" Seeing Ye Zhen, Ye Xiaomai jumped up in surprise. Ye Zhen asked casually, "Have you released Brother Monkey's gang?" "Well, someone from above is protecting him, and there is no evidence to be found." Ye Xiaomai told the truth and felt helpless. That leopard did die of poisoning. But there is no evidence to prove that it was Monkey King who poisoned. "It's okay, just let it go. It's not that I don't want to report it, it's just that the time has not come yet. I came to you to discuss with you that we can work together to remove this cancer of Master Wu. To tell you the truth, I am the new secretary of Gaoshan Town who was parachuted in. Also, I have someone behind me. Vice Governor Chen is my backer." Ye Zhen did not hide anything and told the other party all his cards. He has a way of judging people and believes that Ye Xiaomai will not betray him. You are the new town party secretary. And the Chen family is actually your backer. That's awesome." Ye Xiaomai was a little surprised. The other party is just a doctor. When did he get in touch with the Chen family? Ye Zhen is very mysterious, which makes her curious and also makes her like him more and more. "No problem. You are the town party secretary, but you are not afraid of Master Wu. I am just a police officer, so why should I be afraid of a ghost? However, you have to agree to one condition of mine. Be my boyfriend and help me heal my internal injuries." Ye Xiaomai looked at Ye Zhen with fiery eyes, not hiding her love at all. She had never been in a relationship before, and this was the first time she fell in love with a man. Chapter 24, Bringing Honor to the Family. Ye Zhen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He glared at her and said with a smile, "When your boyfriend is under pressure, if you are unhappy, you will arrest me and kill me. Humph, you're still acting cute after taking advantage of me." Ye Xiaomai rolled her eyes at him, speechless. She is a beauty in Xiong County's police system and has a prominent family background. Men who want to pursue her line up on the street. Her appearance and figure are both top-notch, and she is a policewoman that everyone loves. "Okay, I'll think about it." Ye Zhen sat down, looked at Ye Xiaomai, and gave her a score. The appearance gets 9 points, the chest gets 8.5 points, the small waist gets 9 points, the buttocks get 9 points, and the long legs get 9.5 points. The total score is 45 points, which is very high and quite good. He gave his ex-girlfriend Lu Yusin a score of 41 overall. First love Chen Yang, a total of 43 points. Dean Tang Yumei scored a total of 44 points. Chen Rong scored the highest, with a total of 48 points. Ye Xiaomai is also a policewoman and is indeed qualified to be his girlfriend. Having rejected someone before, Ye Zhen felt a little embarrassed and said with a wry smile, "How about this, let's try dating for a while, and when you are satisfied, I will be your boyfriend." "I am very satisfied now, what are you waiting for?" Ye Xiaomai looked at him lovingly. Damn, this girl. Ye Zhen didn't know what to say. "Xiaomai, in the next few days, you should investigate carefully and collect evidence of Master Wu's crime. When I enter the town government, the first thing I will do is to arrest Wu Yi and destroy this gang." Ye Zhen gave some instructions and turned to leave. Ye Xiaomai was stunned on the spot, as if she was dreaming. "After waiting for 1,000 years, I finally got a mysterious boyfriend. To be honest, it's too fast." Over there, Ye Zhen returned to the Chinese medicine clinic to help clean up. The medicine cabinet can be propped up and used, no problem. Tables, chairs, beds, and some medical supplies need to be repurchased. Ye Zhen called Tang Yumei and asked her to help buy the necessary items and send someone to deliver them. After finishing all this, Ye Zhen said with a smile, "Dad, Mom, I quit my job at the hospital and will come home to help you see patients." What? Ye Kun and his wife were dumbfounded. Many doctors work hard all their lives but still find it difficult to become a chief physician. What's more, Ye Zhen is also the director of the Department of Traditional Chinese Medicine of the Provincial People's Hospital. This silly boy, is there water in his head? The couple stared at Ye Zhen, anger in their eyes. Hey, helping you with your consultations is just a side job. When I come back, I will go to work at the town government and serve as the secretary of the Gaishan Town Committee. Ye Kun and his wife were dumbfounded once again. Rural people are most interested in becoming officials. This is a matter of honor to the family and a great joy. Ye Kun and his wife turned from anger to joy, their eyes burning. Xiong, is this true? Child, are you sure you want to come back to be an official? Ye Zhen nodded, speechless. Is the director of the Department of Traditional Chinese Medicine of the Provincial People's Hospital not as good as a town party committee secretary? That's great. God has mercy on us. Our Ye family finally has an official. Yes, there is smoke coming out of the Ye family's ancestral tomb. Ye Kun and his wife were overjoyed and smiled from ear to ear. Their lifelong hope is that their son can succeed in life. Now that I have achieved what I wanted, it would be strange if I am not happy. Oh, by the way, there's something good that needs both of you. Forget it, you two are old, so you should call your sister and brother-in-law back. Ye Zhen thought of a question. The Chen family knows how to make a fortune, so why shouldn't he also get some of the benefits? Gaishan Town is destined to take off in the future. Take advantage of now to snap up some land and make a fortune. Of course, he couldn't show up himself. Ye Zhen took out his cell phone and called his sister. Chapter 25 My Shan. My sister Ye Wen and brother-in-law Liu Yi work in a factory in Lingnan. Ye Wen, who had just got off work, was very surprised to receive a call from her brother. Xiong, how come you have time to call me today? Sister, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I'm quitting and going home. Are you crazy? Sister, I am now the secretary of Gaishan Town Committee. Is this true? Are you an official now? It's true. Who would joke about something like this? My little Zhen is really capable. Congratulations. Sister, come back with your brother-in-law. There is something to make money that needs you two to do. Oh, okay, I'll quit my job and go home right away. Ye Wen was overjoyed when she heard that her younger brother had become an official and the top leader of Gaishan Town. After telling her husband, they both resigned from their jobs and returned to their hometown. On this side, Ye Zhen had just hung up the phone when his cell phone started vibrating again. Chen Yang called in. Ye Zhen didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and went upstairs to answer the phone. He didn't want his parents to misunderstand that he was having an affair with a married woman. After the call was connected, Chen Yang's soft voice sounded, Ye Zhen, what are you doing? Are you free this afternoon? What's up? Ye Zhen was helpless and Chen Yang was entangled. In fact, he gave up. It has a bad influence to associate with a married woman. He is not an ordinary person now, but the secretary of Gaishan Town Committee. I want to go to my shan to play, can you go with me? Ye Zhen wanted to refuse, but he didn't have the time. Suddenly it occurred to me that my shan village is very close to the town, right next to it. Also, my shan has nice scenery, a natural oxygen bar, and a forest park in Gaishan Town. Buying a piece of land at the foot of my shan mountain is perfect for building a villa. Okay, wait for me at the foot of my shan mountain around 1 o'clock. After hanging up the phone and having lunch, Ye Zhen didn't drive but walked over. It's very close, just across the street, 20 minutes away. When he reached the foot of my shan mountain, Ye Zhen frowned. 3 strong young men surrounded Chen Yang, teased her, and pulled her. Yang, you came back without telling me. That's right, our brother Yang misses you so much. My beauty, it's rare for you to go back to your parents' home and accompany our brother Yang. Among the 3 of them, one of them, the guy wearing flowery clothes, is called Chen Daong, and he is from the same village as Chen Yang. This guy pursued Chen Yang and still can't forget about her. In the afternoon, 3 brothers came to my shan to play and saw Chen Yang standing under a tree on the side of the road, as if waiting for someone. Chen Daong was very annoyed and deliberately found fault with her and teased her. You bastards! Chen Yang cursed and swore, wishing she could kick them a few times. But Chen Daong and his gang are not easy to deal with. They are disciples of the Weilong martial arts school in the town. Seeing Ye Zhen coming over, he was overjoyed and quickly waved and called out, "Brother Zhen, I'm here." Chen Daong and the others turned to look at Ye Zhen. Very strange, but indeed very handsome. Let her go. Ye Zhen walked up to them with cold eyes. They don't look like good people at first glance. 3 little hooligans. However, the 3 people in front of him know some martial arts and are physically strong, which is not comparable to Monkey Brother's gang. Hey, who are you? I advise you to mind your own business and stay away. Before Chen Daong could say anything, his 2 fellow apprentices started to surround him. There are many disciples in Weilong Martial Arts School, many of whom work as bodyguards and security guards. There are disciples of Weilong Martial Arts School in counties, cities, and provincial capitals. Even Master Wu was unwilling to provoke the Weilong Martial Arts School easily. It can be said that Gaoshan Town is the world of these 2 forces. Chapter 26, Weilong Martial Arts School. 3 grasshoppers, jumping so happily. There was a cold look in Ye Zhen's eyes. Even though he is a doctor, dealing with these thugs is as easy as stepping on a few ants. Brother Zhen, don't do it, they are disciples of Weilong Martial Arts School. Seeing Ye Zhen getting angry, Chen Yang quickly ran over and gave him a reminder. What kind of crappy martial arts school is this? Is it that awesome? Ye Zhen shook his head, with disdain in his eyes. The 3 young men in front of me have not even started practicing martial arts. They are so rubbish. Zhao Delong, the owner of Weilong Martial Arts School, is quite skilled. It is said that he won the championship at the Xiong County Martial Arts Exchange Conference. Master Zhao has been teaching for more than 20 years and has trained thousands of disciples. Even Master Wu has to give him some respect. Brother Zhen, it's just a small matter, forget it. Chen Yang grabbed Ye Zhen's arm and shook her head. It is not a wise move to provoke the Weilong Martial Arts School, as it will cause considerable trouble. Having thousands of disciples is quite interesting. Originally, Ye Zhen had no interest at all. How powerful can a shabby martial arts school be? But now, after hearing that the Weilong Martial Arts School had trained thousands of disciples, he became interested. Being an official also requires cultivating one's own power and obtaining secret support. Wouldn't it be solved if we recruited the Weilong Martial Arts School to join us? The Chen family is his powerful backer, but it is too far away and unreliable. As the saying goes, distant water cannot put out a nearby fire. Cultivating your own power is the right path. Who are you, kid? You're so arrogant. Chen Daong glared at Ye Zhen with murderous intent. This is the first time I heard someone say that Weilong Martial Arts School is a broken martial arts school in Gaoshan Town. The 2 junior brothers were furious and waved their fists at Ye Zhen. Go to hell, you bastard. It's different after learning martial arts. Your attacks are powerful and fast. Chen Yang was so frightened that she quickly stepped back. It's over, Ye Zhen is finished. But the result left her dumbfounded. Bang! Oh! The 2 young men punched Ye Zhen hard. The strange thing was that Ye Zhen didn't move at all and was safe and sound, but the 2 of them were blown away. Who are you? How is it possible? Chen Daong was dumbfounded. The handsome young man in front of him seemed to be weak and helpless, but he was actually a mysterious and powerful man. He was able to knock the opponent away just by relying on his physical strength. In the entire martial arts hall, only Master Zhao could do that. In other words, the young man in front of him is at the same level as Master Zhao, a martial arts master. Thinking of this, Chen Daong's face changed drastically and he was scared to death. Go back and tell your master that Ye Zhen will go to Weilong Martial Arts Hall to visit your master in the evening. Leaving a word, Ye Zhen took Chen Yang's smooth jade hand and went to climb Maishan Mountain. Chen Daong was stunned for a moment, then quickly walked over and helped his 2 fellow apprentices up. Fortunately, Ye Zhen showed mercy and they both only suffered minor injuries and were not seriously injured. Ye Zhen? Who is this guy? When did such a person appear in our Gaoshan town? Chen Daong talked to himself, his face solemn and his eyes full of fear. A young man who is comparable to Master Zhao, a martial arts master, is scary to think about. On the other side, Chen Yang did not resist and let Ye Zhen hold her hand. This guy Ye Zhen is becoming more and more mysterious. He is hard to guess and understand. Chen Yang glared at him and asked, "You stinky man, when did you learn martial arts? How come I don't know about it?" She didn't even take that poor boy seriously back then. I never thought that he would become a doctor and also know martial arts. To be honest, Chen Yang regretted it so much that her intestines turned green. Compared to him, Liu Jie is just a scum and a waste. There are so many things you don't know. Ye Zhen rolled his eyes at her, not wanting to pay attention to her, and walked forward. Chen Yang was stunned and speechless. Chapter 27 Good Girlfriend. "Hey, bad guy, wait for me." Chen Yang stamped her feet and followed helplessly. Ye Zhen was too lazy to pay attention to her and walked up the mountain along the trail. Maishan, with an altitude of 500 to 600 meters, is located to the north of Maishan village. It has lush forests and some ancient trees. Climbing to the top of the mountain, you can enjoy a broad view and take in the entire mountain town. At the foot of Maishan mountain, there is a valley on the west side, about 50 acres in size. On the east side, there is a large flat land that extends all the way to Maiyang village. After this land is expropriated, it can be used to attract investment and build a tourist resort or a summer resort. Ye Zhen plans to buy the valley to the west. Gaoshan town is a remote and poor place with wasteland everywhere and is worthless. The villagers of Maishan village must be very happy to buy an acre of land for tens of thousands of yuan. Hate it, don't even wait for me. Chen Yang caught up. It has been a long time since I went back to my parents' home. Chen Yang was a little excited when she climbed to the top of Maishan mountain again and looked down at Gaoshan town. Relaxed and refreshed. Ye Zhen ignored him and stood there in a daze. Chen Yang pouted and asked, "What are you looking at? What are you thinking about?" Ye Zhen was very excited. "I plan to buy a piece of land at the foot of Maishan mountain and build more than a dozen high-end villas." "What's wrong with you?" Chen Yang rolled her eyes at him. "Building a villa in such a remote mountain place and selling it to ghosts? Even if you live there yourself, it's not cost-effective. Farmers in Gaoshan town are flocking to the city to buy houses and send their children to school. Those who come back to build villas in the countryside are all wealthy people who have too much money and nowhere to spend it. Forget it. I tell you, it's like playing the lute to a cow. It's meaningless." Ye Zhen shook his head and walked to a rock and sat down. "If you don't agree, there's no need to talk too much." At this time, Chen Yang's cell phone rang. A good friend called in. Childhood sweethearts, grew up together, sisters Chen Yu from the same village. After answering the phone, Chen Yang asked with a smile, "Ye Zhen, do you still remember Chen Yu?" "Chen Yu, the slim girl, the airplane girl, my classmate in junior high school, I would recognize her even if she was burned to ashes." Ye Zhen complained, with disdain in his eyes. "Chen Yu is pretty, but she is too thin and has a flat chest. Ye Zhen doesn't like her and often bullies her. You said she was a plain girl." A strange look flashed across Chen Yang's eyes. Then, she helped to introduce, Chen Yu did not get into high school, and later, he studied at the TV university on his own and went to work at the town government. You may not know that our Gaoshan town mayor Tang is Uncle Chen Yu. Chen Yu is now the deputy director of the town government's family planning office. This time, you airdrop down and train her well. By the way, Chen Yu has arrived at the foot of the mountain. Look, that's her. Ye Zhen looked up. Sure enough, at the foot of the mountain, a graceful figure, with a curvy figure, was moving up along the trail. She is Chen Yu, is it possible? Ye Zhen couldn't believe it. The former airplane girl is now so plump. It can be seen that the girl at the foot of the mountain is a little plumper than Chen Yang. Guaranteed authenticity. To tell you the truth, there are countless men pursuing Chen Yu. Her uncle is going to introduce her to an official in the county. However, Chen Yu once told me that she had a crush on a junior high school classmate, and she still can't forget him. Unfortunately, the boy she has a crush on is a fool and doesn't understand romance. Chen Yang muttered for a while and looked at Ye Zhen with a strange look in her eyes. Chen Yu still has better vision. And she missed it forever. What do you mean? You said Chen Yu has a crush on me. How is that possible? Ye Zhen's eyes widened.